campaigns targeting young voters. Find out.
Also, we look at the renovations on the Waverly Skate Park.
And a Cedar Valley food pantry and secondhand clothing store is looking to make a difference this upcoming holiday season. This is Cedar Valley Today.
Hello and welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Brady Van Sickle.
And I'm Kaylin Thompson. Joining us now is Ashley Davis to tell us just how big of an impact young voters have on elections.
Thanks, Kaylin. With less than a week until Election Day, campaign organizers are still working hard. This is the first time the Iowa Senate seat has been open in 30 years, and the decision could be possibly determined by the youth. Area political offices told me how they're targeting the younger voters in their campaigns.
This is the most important election of their time, and I mean that sincerely.
The tight race between Joni Ernst and Bruce Braley, among others, is putting America at a crossroad, and the focus is on young voters. Or is it?
Well, I can tell you that when it comes to youth voters, you have to go to them. You can't expect them to come to you as a party. When you sit down and show these young people the numbers and show them that, our grandparents and parents are not going to be the ones to solve this, it's going to be us, they start to pay attention a little bit more.
We're going around to the various colleges and people are there. I mean, we're trying to register every voter that we can at these colleges.
So what are the younger voters looking for?
Get out of the short-term bubble and start thinking long-term, because I think our youth is ready to support candidates that want to make sweeping changes that impact them, not just 5-10 years, but 20-15 down the road.
I think right now a lot of younger voters especially, have problems when it comes to political affairs, is that it's incredibly difficult to tell what's true and what's false.
The Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier reported earlier this week that over $27 million have been spent on political attack ads. And as Election Day gets closer, these ads are taking over television airwaves more and more.
They're as sick of it as we are, really. I mean, when you stop and think about it, there's an awful lot of that going on.
They're kind of like insurance commercials where they're selling you fear. And so they're saying, if you don't vote for this candidate, look at all these bad things that are going to happen, instead of saying, if you vote for this candidate, a lot of these good things are going to happen.
Regardless of what the political ads are saying, both parties say it's up to you to look into what the facts are. And for the youth taking part in the 2014 midterm election, there are some things to keep in mind when voting.
I think the most important thing for younger voters to do is to make sure that they know the facts. You shouldn't for any election go in blind.
Get out the vote, that's the big key thing here. Be knowledgeable, be informed.
As of last week's count, the Republicans are heading up the Democrats in absentee ballots. To find out where your Election Day polls are, log on to the Wartburg Circuit.
And with the Senate election quickly approaching, I got the chance to sit down with Senator Grassley, who gave his thoughts on the race between Bruce Braley and Joni Ernst.
Most polls show it kind of in a dead heat, or with Ernst having 1 or 2 points up. Frankly, now maybe a couple weeks from now you'll say I didn't predict it wrong, but I think that Joni Ernst has a very good chance of winning. I can't draw that conclusion just from the polls, but I can draw it from the enthusiasm of the people that are supporting them and the people that talk to me versus the number of people that bring up Congressman Braley's name.
Janesville native Chris Appling, a member of the Waverly chapter of Iowa Democratic Party, describes the possible outcome of the 2014 Senate election.
It's going to be close. I think there's been a lot of polls across the last 6 months and a lot of shifts and changes with things that have happened in the state. And really, I think it's too close for anyone to call. And I think most polls, poll likely voters. And I don't really think anybody has a good grasp on exactly who's going to turn out on Election Day, and I think we're all just going to have to wait and see for what happens.
Republican Senate candidate Joni Ernst visited Waverly Public Library on Monday morning on her 99-county campaign tour. Senator Chuck Grassley spoke on her behalf. She talked about her plans if given the Senate seat, such as balancing the budget. After speaking, she greeted her supporters, took pictures, and answered questions.
How about the United States? And they say we're sliding backwards. Vote for the best candidate. I believe I'm the best candidate, and the benefit of that is that I would be the first woman elected to a congressional delegation from the state of Iowa. I'm very excited about that.
Joining us now is Elizabeth Jewett with our first look at weather. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Brady. For our first look at weather today, we're going to be looking at some sunny skies throughout the day with a high of 28 degrees, so it is in the morning, so it is going to be pretty chilly throughout the day with a high of 39 at noon and 5. As we move on tomorrow for our first look, for tomorrow's weather is going to be another cold one as well, with some partly sunny skies throughout the day with a high of 21 at 8 a.m. And as we move on to about noon, we're looking at a high of about 36 degrees. And as we hit 5 p.m., it's only going to be a high of about 39. So it's going to be pretty chilly for us here in Iowa, but it still will be sunny, so something to look forward to.
Looks like those fall temperatures are here to stay. Thanks, Elizabeth.
They really are.
4 years ago, 2 small-town churches partnered up to create 2 organizations to benefit the community and surrounding areas of Bremer County. They are known as Helping Hands Clothing Closet and His Hands Food Pantry.
On average, 100 clients take advantage of the free necessities offered. Cedar Valley Today's Alyssa Kozak has more on the story.
We started hearing of the need in the community for affordable clothes, especially as the economy was dropping and people were really struggling. Even places like Goodwill and Trinkets and Togs and other consignment stores around the area were still too expensive for a lot of families to afford.
Helping Hands Clothing Closet is open 2 days a week and every first Saturday of each month. They are always looking for donations and volunteers to help go through the clothes or stock the shelves at the 2 locations. Lori Meyer, the coordinator of Helping Hands Clothing Closet, says there is nothing more rewarding than to see the faces of families when they find something they like.
There is nothing that can pay you in that amount for the good feeling that you do get. When the little girl finds the perfect dress and she tries it on and twirls it, it's very rewarding. And, the parents, of course, are thankful. And so we feel like we're doing the Lord's work. So.
Both the clothing closet and the food pantry are open for donations of clothing, food, or monetary. Right now they are in need of winter coats of all sizes, snow pants, winter boots, blankets, sheets, towels, diapers, toiletries, and baby food. There is no limit of how many articles of clothing an individual takes, but there is a limit as to how much food a family gets.
Every person in your family gets 10 pounds of food of their choice. And then there's also a lot of items that you get on top of that 10 pounds, depending on what's been donated.
People can donate fresh produce, fresh bread, eggs, or milk, which will not count as the family's 10 pounds. In Pastor Burrow's eyes, both organizations have helped the community members learn that there is a need for clothing and food in the area and to really make a difference. Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Alyssa Kozak.
For more information on how to volunteer or donate, please visit the Wartburg Circuit.
The University of Northern Iowa has joined a nationwide campaign against sexual assault and relationship violence. The It's On Us campaign is a White House-led initiative. UNI started their campaign off with an event asking students to take an anti-violence pledge last week. Their efforts will continue through the school year as they host seminars on the topic starting next week. Mark Robarth, Associate Director for Student Wellness, says that the campaign's goal is to stress everyone's responsibility in preventing sexual and relationship violence.
And show that this is everyone's issue when we think about gender violence of any kind, although this is really focused on sexual assault. But if we're talking about relationship violence, stalking, or harassment, it's everyone's issue. We all have a role to play in addressing this issue.
Tesla, the electric car brand, can now no longer hold test drives in Iowa. Just like Texas, Arizona, and Maryland, the brand has been struck down from holding test drives. In these states, you can still purchase the vehicles online, but not from a brick-and-mortar car dealership. For those who purchase the vehicles, these states do not currently have charging stations to recharge the battery of the car. Though in Iowa, some places are looking into building charging stations, such as the University of Iowa campus.
But I do hope that it is the future and it's where we're going. A vehicle that doesn't use non-renewable resources and is considering cradle-to-grave construction, where do the materials come from, where is everything coming from, and where is it going to go when it's done in their construction is really where I hope vehicles are going to continue to go.
Coming up on Cedar Valley Today, the Waverly Skate Park is renovating. Find out more after the break.
We're going to go ahead and take a second look at our weather for today, starting off at 8 a.m. with a high of about 28. It's going to be fairly sunny throughout the day, moving on to noon with a high of about 39 degrees, as well as 5 p.m. a high of 39. For the weekend forecast, again today, a high is going to be about 43, a low in the 17 degree range, so it's going to be pretty chilly. Tomorrow we're looking at a high of about 45 with partly sunny skies and a low of 32. Sunday we are going to see some partly sunny skies but some higher winds with a high of 53 and low of 40 degrees. As we look at our statewide highs, Sioux City and Council Bluffs are looking at a high of about 43 degrees. Mason City and Waterloo are going to be 39 and 41 degrees. Des Moines, a high of about 42. Cedar Rapids, a high of 41 as well. And Dubuque, a high of about 48. For our nationwide highs, starting off in New York with a high of about 57 degrees. Washington, D.C. is looking at a high of about 60. Miami is going to be nice and warm with a high of 83. Chicago is looking at a high of about 43 degrees. Denver is looking at a high of 63. Houston, a nice warm 77. LA is looking at a high of about 72 degrees, and Seattle a nice 52 degrees. For our 5-day forecast Saturday, again we're looking at some partly sunny skies with a high of 45 and a low of 32. Going to see some higher winds Sunday with a high of 53. Monday we are going to see some scattered showers with a 40% chance of rain throughout the day, and we're going to see some partly sunny skies for Tuesday and Wednesday. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The Waverly City Council recently approved renovations for the Waverly Skate Park located at 403 5th Avenue Southwest. The skate park is 15 years old. Joining us now is Ruth Nastidi with more details.
Thank you, Kaylin. The skate park is in bad shape. Organizers have been asking the City Council for the past couple of years to set aside money to repair the park. And finally, it's going to happen.
This is the only rail that is left for Derek Willem to skate at the Waverly Skate Park. All the other ramps have been removed to a separate area. Sooner or later, Wilhelm and his friends will enjoy a new set of rails and ramps.
Pretty excited. I've been waiting for quite a long time.
Waverly Leisure Service Manager Garrett Riordan says the city has approved $60,000 to renovate the skate park. The skate park was first built in 1999, and as it gets older, he says the structure has worsened. Jack Thompson, one of the skaters, has experienced that himself.
It was kind of bad, pretty bad. Like I hit a rock and in a screw and I fell and I scraped up my elbow.
Community organizer Jeremy Everett says the park is the second most used park in the city, though in the past the park was famous for drinking and drug use.
But in reality, this place has been a sanctuary for many of the kids.
Everett says the new half pipe and quarter pipe will bring out the fun and make the park safer for the kids.
It's gonna be more welcoming of the park. It's gonna be definitely something to see.
Derek and Seth Willem say skateboarding teaches them lessons just like any other sports.
Kind of like if you shoot a basket, you feel proud after what you did.
You can't give up. If you crash, you got to get back and keep trying and trying.
The construction of the park will begin in November and it will be completed in the spring.
Thanks, Rue. And coming up on Cedar Valley Today, we sit down with Robin Smuck to talk about what some Girl Scouts are doing differently this Halloween. Stay with us.
This Saturday, dozens of Girl Scouts will join together to take a stand against hunger. From 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning, they'll fill backpacks of food at the Northeast Iowa Food Bank in Waterloo. The backpacks will be filled with cereal, juice, fruit cups, and microwavable meals, and will be distributed to kids in need. Joining us now to talk more about the event is Leadership Experience Manager for the Girl Scouts of Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois, Robin Smuck. Robin, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about the event, a little bit more about how it came to be and why we're taking the stand against hunger?
Well, it all started when we decided within our council that this year would be the year of service with Girl Scouts. So our goal is to have 100,000 hours of service across our council among the girls and the adult volunteers. And so I was thinking of ways that we could obtain that goal. And so what service projects could we do? And obviously the food bank was one of the first people that popped into my head.
And now, the event will be benefiting, used to benefit kids in the area. And according to the Feeding America in 2013, 14.7 million kids under the age of 18 are currently in poverty, which is just under 20% of the total population.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, this is obviously a really big issue in current America. And so, what do you think in regards to like bringing awareness to an issue like this? Will an event bring for
The girl.
for solving the issue?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that having young girls there at the food bank, packing these backpacks, becoming aware of the issue is a very good first step in solving it. Getting the youth involved, getting them aware so that they can start from a young age thinking about how they can improve the situation, starting locally and then working out to a more national.
And real quick, we have time for one more question. Is there any tips you have for others who want to get involved and show their support for the Girl Scouts and other initiatives like this?
For Girl Scouts, you can contact us at any of our offices. We have 5 locations throughout eastern Iowa and western Illinois. For setting up stuff with the food bank, you can contact their volunteer services.
All right, I appreciate your time this morning, Robin. Thank you.
Thank you.
To learn more about the Girl Scouts Stand Against Hunger, visit the wartburgcircuit.org. Coming up, what you need to know about how to keep your trick-or-treaters safe this Halloween. Stay with us.
Now with us on the show is Officer Ryan Wegner to discuss how to be safe on Halloween night. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yep.
So what is the biggest safety concern while trick-or-treating?
I think probably the biggest safety concern is just having all the foot traffic out and about. There's a lot of kids out, and then you have to worry about traffic as well, vehicle traffic as well. So I think just the totality of the whole night with so much foot traffic, so much traffic in town as far as vehicles go, just making sure everyone's safe.
So what should drivers be aware of?
I think the most important thing for the drivers is just making sure they're aware of their surroundings, where they're at in the city. Obviously if you're in a residential area, the trick-or-treating, there's going to be a lot more trick-or-treating going on than maybe on Main Street at this point tonight. Just like I said, being aware of your surroundings and being this defensive driver.
So with trick-or-treating occurring after dark, how do trick-or-treaters make sure they're visible?
I think one thing you can do is when you're going to pick a costume, make sure it's maybe reflective or a brighter color. If the costume's too dark, you can possibly look at buying reflective tape. Also, you can carry flashlights or glow sticks would help with that as well.
Okay, so how do trick-or-treaters and parents ensure safety with drivers on the road?
I think just following, using some common sense when you're crossing the street, make sure you're always crossing at crosswalks. Don't cross in between cars, and making sure, they look both ways when you're going to cross the street.
Okay, so how do parents make trick-or-treating both safe and fun for the trick-or-treaters?
I think just following, all the basic rules that you've learned throughout your life or, when you're younger, trick-or-treating, like I said, making sure that the costumes are still fun but reflective so drivers can see you, and just making sure you've just being safe, following all the rules.
So does it make a difference that trick-or-treating is happening on a Friday night this year?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. I mean, it's happened on Friday nights before. I don't think it should make too much of a difference.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning. And for more helpful Halloween tips, you can check out the Wartburg Circuit. And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at Halloween costumes you should avoid this year. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Brady Burgundy.
And I'm Kaylin Corningstone. Halloween costumes are a fun way to escape, and the more topical the costume, the better.
But you need to be careful. We have some advice on costume choices to avoid in 2014.
For instance, Ebola. It is a huge story right now. It is something everyone is talking about, but turning that into a costume may be a bit insensitive and could even scare someone.
The NFL has been in the news quite a bit because many of the players have been accused of domestic violence. Going as Ray Rice to your party may sound funny, but it pokes fun at a very serious issue of domestic violence.
Halloween is all about fun, and by going too far with your costume, you could end up ruining a great night. And here with us is Elizabeth for our last look at weather.
Thank you, Kaylin. We're going to see another beautiful day today as we start off with a high of about 29 degrees in the morning at 8 a.m., so it is going to be pretty chilly. But we will see a high of about 43 degrees on Friday with some bright sunny skies, so we'll look forward to that as we start off our weekend with a low of about 17 degrees today. Saturday, we are looking at a high of about 45 degrees and a low of 32, and we will be seeing some partly sunny skies, so it'll be another beautiful weekend. Sunday, we are going to see a little bit higher winds with a high of about 53 degrees and a low of 40, but we will see some partly sunny skies, so it is going to be a beautiful weekend here for us in Iowa.
Especially for all those trick-or-treaters going out. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yep, of course.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
And you stay classy, Cedar Valley.
And have a happy Halloween.
I like your mustache.